You say you haven't been the same since you had your little crash, but you might feel better if they gave you some cash. The more I think about it, old Billy was right. Let's kill all the lawyers, kill them tonight. You don't want to work, you want to live like a kid.
February the 10th.
It's time for one more episode of Two Marks and
One Mike.
I'm C Mark.
I'm John Mark.
Over the last couple of podcasts, we've been talking about the importance of getting an accident report after an accident to document the cause of an accident. We've been talking about the importance of seeking medical treatment to make sure the insurance company pays you a fair amount of money for your claim. If you don't get medical treatment, you're not hurt. Very important to get medical treatment. And today we're going to touch on, okay, you have an accident report, you have your medical bills. Now you want to get them paid and get fair compensation for your injuries. Is it time to hire a lawyer?
Before we move on to that, Mark, there's one thing that happened this week with a client that had called in. She had been in an accident. Within 30 minutes of the accident, after she'd been in the accident, the police officer came to the scene, did not prepare a report, but because he asked her, "Are you hurt?" And she said, "I'm not sure." And she left the scene. Within 30 minutes, she was on her way to the hospital.
Okay.
The reason I point that out is a lot of times people aren't sure because their adrenaline's flowing. They've had this traumatic event, and they're not sure.
Yeah.
And so if you're unsure, it's important to treat it as if you're injured because that very thing.
Right.
Is now she does not have an accident report. She has been to the emergency room. They did all the proper things at the scene, fortunately, where they did exchange information. But I asked her about the injury and heading to the hospital, and she said that she wasn't sure, but 30 minutes after, she knew she was hurt. So really and truly, it's important. If you're not sure, you better make sure.
Right.
Because this could have been a disaster.
Yeah.
But it turned out it was okay because she did get all the proper information. So keep
Now,
that in mind.
yeah, and I'm not going to sit here and tell you that every car wreck requires a lawyer. Every car wreck does not require a lawyer. If it's only property damage, there's no need to lawyer up and pay a lawyer.
That's correct.
But if you have personal injuries, if you have a medical bill that you want to hold the responsible party accountable for your medical bill, you're going to lawyer up. And it's been our experience when we get phone calls from potential clients, they have been dissed by the insurance company. They've been disrespected or disregarded.
Right.
Disrespected because they're talked down to by the insurance adjuster that's saying you're not really hurt because of the property damage, or disregarded because they're not returning phone calls.
And the other thing, Mark, is they're disregarded oftentimes because the adjuster does not believe they're injured.
Right.
And so they're going to basically ignore you.
Yeah.
And so when that happens, it's very, very important. You know you've been injured. You know you've got pain in your neck or pain in your back. You know you've been to the emergency room, but yet they're going to treat you as if, well, there is no way you're injured.
And it's just that sometimes it's just their tone of voice that they use. Right. They just talk down to our clients. And I've always felt like if the insurance company would send their employees to a Dale Carnegie class about how to win friends and influence people and be more polite and cordial, we might be out of business. Because a lot of times when people
certainly they may not hire us early enough. Yeah, they probably eventually would once they realize, well, maybe this insurance company is being sweet to me because they are going to underpay me or they are not going to take care of me properly. But you're exactly right. If they treated people with more respect, and if they did take their injury seriously,
when they stab you in the gut with their knife, they got a smile on their face, because they're trying to save money for their insurance company. So you reach a point where you decide, I've got to find a lawyer. Now, the first place where you want to find a lawyer, in my opinion, is friends and family.
Exactly right.
Ask around your friends and family, people at church, I'm involved in a car accident, I need a lawyer. Do you have any suggestions, any names, any firms? And really, that's where you want to start at, is people that you know, people that you trust and love, giving you a name of someone that you can call.
That's right, because what those people will tell you, they will tell you somebody that is good to hire. They will also tell you people truthfully who to avoid.
Yes.
So you get a real honest opinion from friends and family. But that's not the only place that you should consider looking for a lawyer.
No.
Because sometimes you may have a friend or a family member that has had a lawyer, but suppose it was a business type deal
Right.
or a real
Right.
estate type deal,
Right.
and that lawyer may not be familiar enough with the process to be one that you should really consider. So what do you do if the friend or family
Well-
has referred you to that sort of lawyer, and you really need a lawyer that handles injury claims?
Well, it's so easy nowadays to find any sort of service, be it medical, legal, car service. I mean, you Google, in my opinion, you Google car wreck lawyer Chattanooga, car wreck attorney Chattanooga, and pick the law firm or the lawyer with the most 5-star reviews.
Right.
Simply that. Read the 5-star reviews. They are real.
Yeah.
And they're by, a lot of people, give 5-star reviews and pick the law firm with the most 5-star reviews.
Now, I think that is a very, very good place to start. But one thing you have to be careful of when you do Google, because what we have now is you do have a lot of lawyers that may not be local lawyers that are actually
Great point.
trolling for
Great point.
the big case. They may not necessarily
Great
care
point.
about your case, but they're trolling for things. So
Yeah.
you may see a lawyer with a lot of 5-star reviews,
Yeah.
but read the fine print. See where that lawyer really is. See if they really are from
Local.
your area.
Local.
And when we say
Because
local, you should at least make sure if you're in the Chattanooga area, somewhere around the Chattanooga area, somewhere around North
Yeah,
Georgia,
right.
you should make
Yeah.
certain that they know
Yeah.
the flavor of this area. They know the environment.
Absolutely. You want a local lawyer with the most 5-star reviews. Make sure that the lawyer is within this geographic center where you are and not out of Atlanta. And when you call the lawyer that you decided, pick 2 or 3 with the most 5-star reviews. Call their offices. Are their phones answered quickly in a courteous and professional manner? Do they take down your information and then hand you off to a lawyer instead of a case file manager? Case file manager is code for not a lawyer, okay?
Right.
So not a paralegal.
Well,
Case file manager.
and that is a model that a lot of firms use. Now, there's a difference if you're working with a case file manager and a lawyer. But one of the things I think is very important is when you do, or you are selecting the law firm, are you actually going to meet with the lawyer?
Right.
A lot of these firms nowadays, you don't meet with a lawyer. They'll
No.
send somebody to your house that's a runner. You go down to their office and you
Right.
meet with a paralegal. It's not disparaging the paralegals, but there's some problems with that because guess what?
Yeah.
If you're not meeting with a lawyer,
Mhm.
that person you're meeting with, they cannot give you legal advice.
No. No.
So that's what you're actually going to do.
Right.
You're looking for representation
Yeah.
and legal advice.
Well-
and if you're not
well-
if you're not meeting with
Yeah,
a lawyer,
well-
the advice they're giving you is not worth anything.
You're paying an attorney's fee. It's an attorney fee. It's a lawyer fee. It's not a paralegal fee. It's not a case file manager fee. It's a lawyer fee. You're paying for a lawyer, so you need a lawyer that you're paying for. And lawyers like us, we charge in a different way. You might know a business lawyer, and a business lawyer is different than what we do. A trial lawyer. We have a contingent fee basis. And what is a contingent fee, John Mark?
Well, the way we handle cases is we're not going to get paid unless there's a recovery. We don't get paid unless you get paid.
And my wife enjoys it when I get paid.
Absolutely. So, the contingency fee is a mechanism that came about centuries ago.
Right.
It allows the individual that cannot pay that hourly rate, cannot pay that big retainer fee, and it allows that person to be represented on a contingency basis,
Right.
meaning the payment of that attorney's fee is contingent upon there being a recovery.
And usually that's a percentage. And the percentage varies from jurisdiction to jurisdiction. Here in Chattanooga, the typical fee is 1/3. However, if you hire a lawyer out of Atlanta, that fee is 40%.
You also see that out of the ones that come out of Birmingham.
Yeah, 40% out of Alabama and out of Georgia. So you keep that in mind because that's money coming out of your pocket. That 1/3 attorney fee. Also, John Mark and I have been doing this for 34 years. Okay, and I can swear to you, the clients always have the biggest check walking
Exactly.
out of this office.
Exactly.
They always make their check is always bigger than the attorney fee. Always.
We will
Guarantee it.
We will never take more
Oh.
than the client. The client's been the one that's been injured.
Yeah.
They're the ones that have been through the ringer.
Right.
They're the ones
Right.
that are going to get a check
Yeah.
that's going to be more than ours.
And I have talked to clients that were not our clients and talked to them about the breakdown of their settlement sheets, and it's amazing. With a $25,000 settlement, they're walking away with $4,000. And the attorney is getting their full 40% fee with all these added on expenses, and the client walks away with $4,000.
Now, you make a good point, because there's one thing that people that are out there that are being represented by other attorneys, make certain that you ask for a disbursement sheet or
Yes.
a settlement sheet breakdown that shows you where every single penny goes. And you know what? You don't have to ask for that after your case
No,
is settled.
no.
Ask your attorney to give you a
But-
proposal ahead of time.
That's part of our process here. A case is not settled at Warren and Griffin until that disbursement sheet is approved by the client.
Exactly right.
And if I email a disbursement sheet to my client, we go over it line by line,
Exactly.
and they understand the net recovery, which is always more than my attorney fee, and they sign off on it. So there's no surprises. There's no surprises when the settlement check comes in.
It's very important that you see that before you say yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very important. That's something to consider. Now, you know what? I made a comment earlier about attorneys and paralegals. Paralegals do a great job at answering routine questions.
Right.
More about the process of what happens when they retain Warren and Griffin to represent them in a car wreck. What I'm talking about is when you need to sit down and ask for legal advice about how to handle something, you better be in a room with your attorney.
Right.
Not with just somebody that's not a licensed lawyer.
Right.
So anyway, those things are things that really and truly should be considered when you are hiring a lawyer to handle your local car wreck.
This has been Two Marks and
One Mike.
Get